Aho, jige hijan kishana hini karagiwid. Jige huachadega wahanakshana egi hampe jige warna che koni gida gikshanai. Hello, everybody. Huachade here again, and happy to see everyone and glad you're here for Module 2 of our Hoyt A Independent Ho-Chunk Learning Program. Now, you may notice I am not alone today. We are joined by my Hinu, coming all the way from Madison. Hi, Hinu. Glad you can be with us. So she's jumping online to help us out with, to do some modeling of today's lesson. So I hope everybody enjoyed working your way through Module 1. If you haven't gotten to it yet, please make sure you go back and work through it and all the different materials that were provided to help you reach that learning objective. And as always, if you have any questions on that or anything, you guys, please reach out to any of the instructors, either directly or you can email at hochunkacademy@gmail.com. Now, I've been instructed to try to keep these videos short. Not exactly always my strong point, but I'm going to do my best. But with that, I'm going to jump right in and we will get going with the new module. So we are starting Module 2, and that is Introductions. Our learning targets for this module are you, the learners, will be able to identify yourselves and others by name. You will be able to ask others with their name. You will be able to demonstrate knowledge of the Ho-Chunk birth order names, where they come from, and also how they're used. And you will be able to understand and use some negative constructions in very, very limited situations. Only a couple of different phrases, but we are going to give you the tools to kind of understand and see what's going on with those. So this module and this concept is actually a little bit more complex than you might think. So what we're doing in order to keep things short and easily digestible is we're going to break them up into 3 primary instruction videos. The first is this one. This is going to be very basic introductions, asking names. The next one is going to talk a little bit more about Ho-Chunk versus English names and to go more into depth on the birth order names. And the third is going to be the negative constructions, how they are formed and how it can use them, again, in a very limited situation. All right, so we'll get moving. There is some foundational knowledge that I want to give everybody that's really important, not just for this module, but for the study of Ho-Chunk language in general. One of those is that in English, we have these things called personal pronouns, I, you, he, she, it, they, them, we, that serve a very specific function, clearly. And Ho-Chunk, we have something that's somewhat related to pronouns, but we really don't have pronouns that function and operate in the same way. So it's a little bit different than what you're going to see in English, actually quite a bit different. So rather than relying on separate pronouns to indicate who is doing the action or receiving the action, we make changes or additions directly to the verb. So for instance, instead of saying I ran or you ran or she ran, we might say nuawant or nu nawant or nuwunk. And don't worry about the pattern there. That's something you can learn later, but that's just to illustrate that we just actually make a change directly on the verb. We don't rely on these separate pronouns outside of that. So that's very important for this lesson, but just the study of Ho-Chunk in general. So we'll get going. Our primary verb that we're going to be working with in this module is hige, which that means to call someone something, or it could also mean to say something to someone, but for our purposes, we're going to say it's to call someone something. Again, that verb is hige. Now, you make a small change to that verb, higaire, just like what I talked about before, and that is they called her or him something, higaire, all right? But for our purposes, you know, that's the very, very literal translation, but for us, what it's really saying is he or she is named this, okay? So higaire is a word you're going to hear a lot, which means they called her, him this. For our purposes, she or he is named this. There's another very, very important word that you guys need to know, and that is one of our big question words, Jaggu, which means what. Now we're going to combine that with some of the verbs that we have, and you're going to hear it a lot. It's also something you can say just on its own, Jaggu, what? So again, very good word to know, one of our question words. So with that, we'll get right into it. So hokiagach de unogo dictionary. Let's look at this picture. Jaggu higaire Jaggu higaire. SpongeBob ga higaire. SpongeBob ga higaire. Ha ha o. SpongeBob ga higaire. Ha ha o. SpongeBob ga higaire. Shigeho kiaga hija unoro Dictionary. Okay, let's look at another picture. Jaggu higaire. Jaggu higaire. Darth Vader ga higaire. Darth Vader ga higaire. Ha ha o. Darth Vader ga higaire. Ha ha o. Darth Vader ga higaire. Okay, now by now you're all saying, wait a minute, we have a question, and I think I know what that question might be. What is the ga on the end of those names? Now, you may have noticed that their names are SpongeBob and Darth Vader, but I was saying SpongeBob ga higaire, or Darth Vader ga higaire, right? So that ga starts to pop up, and what it is, in Ho-Chunk, we have something called a proper name marker. Ga is added on to the end of proper names when you're talking about someone. All right, so it's a referential. So I could be talking about Maingen, who's there. I could say Maingen ga eja mi naganangshina. I'm saying Maingen is sitting right there. And you hear I use the ga. And that's when you would use that marker. You don't use it when you're talking to somebody, though. I wouldn't say Maingen ga Jaggu shanank, what are you doing? There you would just say Maingen Jaggu shanank. So you wouldn't use the ga. So again, you add that on to the end of a name when you're talking about someone. It's called a referential. So ga is pretty much used, it's going to be used throughout this module for us. It's used to tack on the end of all English names, whether they're male or female. And it's also used and tacked on to all of the birth order names, whether they're male or female. Now, there is a caveat here in that female Ho-Chunk names will often add winga. And by the female Ho-Chunk names, I mean the given Ho-Chunk names. So for instance, Maingen, her Ho-Chunk name is Cha Shuch. If I was talking about her, it would be Cha Shuchwinga. So there, if we're talking about them. So again, that's when you would add the winga on, that's when that comes into play. But for our purposes, we won't be using as many of those types of Ho-Chunk names. We'll be using English names, birth order names, and that's where ga gets used exclusively. So now we know how to say what somebody else's name is. So we could say Darth Vader ga higaire. His name is Darth Vader. SpongeBob ga higaire. His name is SpongeBob. But what if you want to find out somebody's name? Well, this is where Hino comes in, and we are going to model the correct phrases for how to do this. So hopefully she's unmuted her mic at this point, and we'll go. Jaggu hinigaire. Jaggu hinigaire.
Mainginga hingaide. Mainginga hingaide. Jaggu hinigaide.
Henninga hingaire. Henninga hingaire. And there you go. There you have it. So that'll complete this portion of this module, just using those phrases to say what somebody's name is, what is somebody's name, what is your name, and my name is this. So once again, Jaggu higaire, what is her name or what is his name? SpongeBob ga higaire, his name is SpongeBob. Jaggu hinigaire, what is your name? Henninga hingaire, my name is Henning. So work with those phrases. There's going to be some more materials related to this coming out, and watch, we have 2 more videos that are going to be coming soon so that we can make sure we hit all of the learning targets for you for this module and this week. I hope everybody's doing well. Chige, Hani Chuk Chawi. Hani Chuk Jay Hito.
Hi, Chuck Jade.